Hello guys, we are back again. Due to some technical difficulties, we got disconnected. So today, on lockdown with Cricfrenzy, we have former England international Paul Nixon. He's played 20 times for England, and when I was a child, I remember him during 2007, 2006, 7 at the time. He was a very unorthodox keeper, and so I really wanted to know what motivated you to keep like this. I mean, you were very lively behind the wicket, and you were, I think, somewhat ahead of your time as well. You were very different from the other keepers. So, what inspired you to be like that?
Yeah, I think a keeper, when I was a youngster, it was about energising the team. It was about trying to make the job as difficult as you can for the batsman, the opposition batsman, supporting your bowlers and making sure that you could inspire your team and just be a driving force for your unit. And that was my responsibility. It helped me focus as well by being a little bit more vocal. It's not about crossing boundaries, it's about pushing as much as you can, and you have to be careful, obviously. But yeah, I enjoyed the getting in the battle on the pitch, and then I'd welcome chats afterwards after the game with opposition as well. You work hard, you play hard.
Indeed, you just said that it was somewhat of a responsibility for you. So does that imply that you were actually directed by the captain to do something like that?
No, I think any leader has responsibility. I was when I was under Duncan Fletcher in 2007 at in Australia in the Tri-Nation series, which we won, and then in the World Cup, part of my role was to try and get under the Australian skin a little bit, try and sort of, be a little bit daring at times. They were in such a good place that we had to try and stop this, this juggernaut that was Australia. And we ended up doing that. We were very successful. We won the series. We had some outstanding individual performances. We had match-winning performances at the right times, and our bowlers got consistency, and our batters turned up at the right times and scored hundreds. Paul Collingwood had a great series, and we all chipped in around that. And then, obviously, the World Cup in 2007 came along as well.
Yeah, you were also a part of that winning squad against Australia. So, if you have to compare that squad, that English squad, with the current English squad, what would you say? Which one is better? Which one is, less better?
Sorry, I'm losing. I can't hear you.
What I asked you was.
I can't hear you again.
Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Sorry, guys. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. I can't hear you. I
guess today is just one of those days.
What you'd like me to talk about? The World Cup? You'd like me to talk about the World Cup? I can't hear a thing. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I can't hear. The Wi-Fi is really bad. I think everybody, the whole world, because of the virus, everybody's at home. Everybody's on their Wi-Fi's. All the families are on the Wi-Fi, speaking to their loved ones, making sure everybody's safe. Here in the UK, we're allowed to go out once a day to speak to exercise and to walk our dogs, for instance. And that's what we've been doing as a family. We've been up early, taking the dog out for a walk, having a run as a family. All the players have been doing their exercises and making sure that they're ready for the season. Fingers crossed, we're looking at July time to come back, and the guys are working through their own programs, which is wonderful. Our strength and conditioning coach, he has put a fantastic operation in place, and now they're all in a good place, a consistent place, ready for the season. We think that we'll be playing white ball cricket only, so we're looking at T20. It's a great shame that the 100's not going to take place now. We're looking forward to the 100. It's an exciting new concept that a lot of our players actually trialled a few months ago at Loughborough University for ECB. And the guys who played the 100, they actually really enjoyed it. They thought it was a fantastic competition. It was quick. It was done and dusted. One team batted within an hour. As a county cricket club, the funds that is going to revenue from the TV money are fantastic. So every club's going to get at least £500,000 upwards a year moving forward. So, you know, as a small non-test match county club, which we are, a turnover of say £5 or £6 million, for us to have an extra £1 million, over £1.5 million coming in for the next few years is huge for us. So it helps us compete with big clubs, and you know, we're very excited by that. So you know, it's a shame that hasn't happened. We just hope that the IPL continues. We hope the big games around the world to inspire.
Yeah, we hope that as well.
I'm sorry, I still can't hear you. You can hear me.
Yes, I can.
What's your most memorable moment entire cricket career?
I guess you can answer the question if you want.
There's many moments when you get your cap as a county player. It means a lot to you when you get your county cap. When, as a Leicestershire, we have Red Fox as a junior player, and then when you reach it as a senior player, as a cap player, you get a Gold Fox. I got my Gold Fox. That was a moment that you believe that other people believe in you, not yourself, which is a nice inspiring moment. But it has to be, you know, when you win, it's important. When you win the county championship, it's a huge, long 6-month campaign of 5 days a week, keeping wicket, you know, 2,000 squats a week as a wicket keeper. That's a tough gig for 6 months. So to win the county championship's good as a unit, but actually when you get your England cap and playing for England, that's the one. That's the moment when you play for England. For me, getting my England cap before the T20 at Sydney was amazing, and then getting my full 50 over cap in front of about 90,000 was also very special. Who's my favourite Bangladesh cricketer? Wow, great question. My favourite Bangladesh cricketer, I think it has to be Shakib, because I was fortunate to coach Shakib in the Caribbean Premier League. He's a wonderful man who's got ultra high standards. He's a perfectionist in his game. He wants to get his bowling right, his batting right. He's never happy. He always wants to be better every time he bats, bowls, fields, and you have to have that mentality to reach the top and stay at the top. And I think that's it now. I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got you.
Okay, that's nice. So I guess we can take questions for a while now. Here's another question: how Bangladesh can be better in T20 cricket? Actually, this is a perfect question for you, since you have already coached in the Bangladesh Premier League. You have worked with some of the youngsters here. And speaking about the Bangladesh Premier League, I have a bit of a small question. Rather, I would ask you that you had Jubair Hussain Likhon under your tutelage, but you chose not to play him for majority of the matches, if I recall correctly. So, despite him being a leg spinner and the fact that T20 cricket is like a ballpark for leg spinners, why did you not choose to play him this season?
Good question. What you want in 2020 is multi-dimensional, and you need people who can bat, bowl, and field, which is really important. And you know, we had we had a good balanced side. Likon's fielding it needs work. His batting needs work. And it's about the role in the team and where we are with your role. We had, quality left arm spin, and it was important that, it's all about the balance of the team. Likon came to us really low in confidence. He wasn't full of confidence when we saw him, and he had to work hard in the nets. We were going well. And, talks about his, it happened before it happened. So have to keep can. Was bowling beautifully. Order somebody height at the we wanted Imad Wasim, who unfortunately couldn't make it, and then Nassum was outstanding. I believe he's one of the best left arm spinners out there. I really do. I think he's got a very bright future, and I think Bangladesh cricket have got a little diamond on their hands, and I think they could really work with him. He can hold the bat as well. His fielding needs a bit of work, but he's a young kid who just needs support. And I think in a year's time, 2 years' time, I think it could be an absolutely outstanding prospect.
Apart from him, you have seen Bangladesh cricket closely and the domestic circuit as well during your time in the country. So, which players do you think are the stars of the future for like the next 6-7 years? In the next 6-7 years, like Shakib, Mahmudullah, Mushfiqur, they are not going to stay there forever, right? So, who do you think can pick up from them?
I think the biggest thing in Bangladesh cricket, and I've spoken to members of the board, Bangladesh has got so many high-class young cricketers. What they need for me, they need to kick on to be world class. I believe they've got the skill set to play really good cricket in the subcontinent. But I think that the challenging times is when they move away from the subcontinent. And for me, what they have to do is they have to look at their pitches, and they've got to look at wickets which have a synthetic percentage inside that. And I've spoken to the boards about it, and the opportunity then for the ball to bounce more and the ball to bounce and carry is really important for the young Bangladesh players, because the pace of the ball coming through chest high to head height at elite level, you've got to deal with that consistently, and the majority of your players have got to do that consistency. So that's the crucial thing for me, is they have to address having some what's called hybrid pitches in Bangladesh, so they can practice better in facilities that are to a slightly higher standard, which will keep them level to everybody else's around the world. That's the important thing for me. They've got so many players. You just have to look at the bowling averages and the batting averages. They're very good. The level of the pitches, that's the really important. If you do that, the Bangladesh really looks at the rest of the strength conditioning coaches, their backroom staff and their coaches. But the world could be the oyster, because the love of Bangladesh is no different around the world. The infrastructure, the level of conditioning, and the pitches. Once they get that right, then look out the rest of the world. Bangladesh will be a world-class force in all formats.
So you've spoken about the importance of pitches. What do you think lacks in Bangladesh pitches on Chittagong, in Sylhet, in Dhaka? What do you think lacks in these pitches? If you could be more specific.
Yeah, it's the pace and the bounce, the grass coverage. It's very tough for fast bowlers. Very, very tough for fast bowlers. You want balls to carry that when a bouncer is in, he hurries the batsman and it flies through. You know, there's got to be pace and carry. Wicket keepers want to be 25, 28 yards back. We had Rubel Hussain, who was very, very potent, who's a world-class bowler, high-class skills. Very difficult for him to take wickets through the middle overs because the pitches are, once the ball gets a bit softer, the seam goes, the swing goes, then it's tough. So it needs, where hybrid pitches have about 5 or 6% artificial, and it makes the ball fly through still. And I think there's so many people want to play cricket, yet there's not enough facilities. So we need more stadiums. We need more hybrid pitches that have got artificial in the grass as well, which will help more cricketers cope with balls that bounce more and are more pacey. And once youngsters are brought up with that from 11 years on, 11, 12, 13 upwards, then they get used to the ball going through at head high, at pace. And we'll bring on new bowlers. We'll bring on passionate, new, fast bowlers. And that's what we need to, that's what Bangladesh needs to improve on. I really believe that.
So you've spoken about something that you've spoken about something that's very, very crucial, and I guess that's perhaps one of the lackings of of our cricket right now. But we do have the funds, I guess, to improve on this sector. And when you speak of facilities, what do you specifically mean? Because in Dhaka or in Mirpur Sher-e-Bangla Stadium, the facilities are pretty good, pretty up to standard. So what more improvement do you want to see in terms of facilities?
From around the, if you look around the world, personally, I think their pitches play at their best when there's dew in the evenings and they're through. But actually, it's the toughest time for bowlers because they can't hold the ball. So, yes, they've got a lot of nets available, but the nets, because they have sunshine, it's very hard to grow grass. The pitches have got so much use that the groundsman doesn't have enough time to bring the wickets back. You know, it's very the amount of cricket that wants to be played on. There's too much cricket for too little facility. There is millions of people who want to play cricket, so there needs to be more facilities, and there needs to be the facilities that are there have to be able to cope the.
That's very truly. I guess we could take a lesson from England, because England, about, especially not so long ago, in the 2015 World Cup itself, the performance was disastrous, so to speak, if I am not being too critical. And then in 2019, they are the world champions. So in 4 years, England became something else. In 2015, actually Bangladesh beat England, and in 2019, England won the World Cup. So what happened? What happened with England? How did this happen so in such a short amount of time?
A lot of money in academies. England invested a lot of money in academies at age group performance from the age of 11 years old upwards. We've got strength and conditioning coaches that work with all our kids across our age groups. We at Leicestershire have got about 250 to 300 kids. Every county in the country has at least that number, some up to 1,000 kids. They're on performance programs. You know, they've got elite coaches coaching them. We've got, you know, head coaches at county cricket clubs like myself and others. We're working with kids 11 years old, 12 years old in the winters. So, you know, they're on 12-month, they're supported and inspired over 12 months. So there's a really nice system that's in place for their lifestyle. We've got lifestyle coaches. We've got strength and conditioning coaches. We've got proper elite performance programs for these kids. And that's what England did. And they invested heavily in their coaches. England put money into these, so the central governing board helped control it. We have to adhere to their ideas and to their contracts, and everybody's accountable, and that's how it should be. So the likes of Joe Root and these youngsters who have come through, they've come through at a much earlier age, a much quicker age, because their cricket nous and knowledge has been focused from 11, 12 years old. The amount of video evidence that's been worked with, the amount of GPS units that they work on. This is elite. It's world class. So if you've got good systems in place that's inspiring the youngsters, you're forcing, you're driving it forward and making it competitive, and you've got good systems in place, then you've got a great foundation that's built on bedrock, not built on sand. And I think that's really important. Facilities have to be world class, and that's where England have done really. And England are being consistent because their infrastructure, because everybody's accountable.
So yeah, you've mentioned the importance of investing in coaches, in world-class coaches, and one of the criticism of Bangladesh cricket has been that there have not been many Bangladeshi coaches in the setup. And since you have worked quite deep in Bangladesh cricket, what do you think of the local coaches of our country?
I think it's amazing. I think the passion's amazing. I think it's been quite tough because I think they've been quite isolated. I think where we've been lucky in the UK is the ECB, the English Cricket Board, has again invested very heavily in coach education, and coach education is wonderful. We all learn from each other's sport. We have got a lot of very good courses, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Only a few weeks ago, I was in a conference with Sir Ian McGeekin, who is a world-class rugby coach, an elite rugby coach. We share knowledge across all sports with elite coaches, and whether it's football, whether it's Premiership football, cricket, rugby, golf, tennis, basketball, elite coaching's elite coaching. It's about managing your people. It's about getting the best out of them, and making sure that you keep things competitive. You inspire them. You have good systems in place, and you look for perfection in your practice and your preparation. And I feel for Bangladesh coaching, because I think there's a lot of coaches who want the knowledge, but I think it's very hard for them to get that modern day coaching knowledge about, we look at how people move. We look at how people move. They move some people move from their top head first. Some people move feet first. And people who move feet first like to have a wider base. They like to bend their knees more. They like to be a little bit more upright when they walk. They like to catch, generally reverse catch. People who walk from their head first, they move head first into the ball. They like to watch the ball closely. People who move from the bottom of their body, from their feet first, they like to have a soft focus. They don't watch the ball right onto the bat. They watch it 3 or 4 yards away. So little things, the language that you use, the consistency of language. We use a lot of profiling, player profiling tools. So we get to know our players to a deeper level. We know, what they're like under pressure, how they move, what decisions they make under pressure, what language they want to hear under pressure, how they are in their normal life, what inspires them, where what we get to the real core foundations of our people, and I don't think these tools have arrived yet in Bangladesh, and I think that the growth area is enormous. We have a problem with the speed of the bowlers. Whose direction? Yeah, I mean, you've got to ask a question. Why do you want to be a fast bowler in Bangladesh when the wickets don't bounce very much? They don't go through very much. All your hard work is very tough. So that's, you look at Pakistan. Pakistan have always had an amazing plethora of fast bowlers. the West Indies, because years ago the pitches, especially years ago in Bangladesh, in the West Indies, were hard, fast, bouncy, and this is what you need to inspire them, so that when they bend their backs hard and they're putting in, they're going to see the results. So I think that Bangladesh cricket needs to look at its pitches, and it needs to look at its strength and conditioning programs and make sure that they are elite, and that's what it's about. We did have a leg spinner played for us. We had Ryan Burl. Ryan Burl was our leg spinner. He was one of our overseas options. The team was actually picked. I had no impact. I had no pick in the team. The team was already picked. The owners and the general manager picked the team. So they picked the squad, and I then came in at the last minute and saw the guys in the nets. So Ryan Burl was our leg spinner. So we actually did have a leg spinner.
So we'll take a few questions and then can you hear me again?
I can very hardly hear you.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that we'll wrap it up for today.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry.
We are once again having some technical difficulties, so I guess we'll wrap it up here today.
What are the wrong aspects of Bangladesh cricket in your eyes? Is it possible to... there's a lot of negativity here. Bangladesh cricket it's a wonderful country who are very passionate about their sport and about their cricket. It's about looking at the positives and taking the positives and looking at the strength of people. And for me, there's so many great things with Bangladesh cricket. The high skill levels, the willingness to learn, the open mindset of the players. One-day cricket, Bangladesh perform well, but obviously they'd love to be more consistent. So it's to getting the balance right. It's having the consistency of performance. And the nation, when Bangladesh plays good cricket, the nation's inspired. And that's what, there's a lot of hard times in Bangladesh. And, part of my job as a coach, when I coached the Chattogram Challengers, I wanted to inspire the people. Exciting games of cricket, never say die attitude, and giving some of our youngsters, opportunity. So, it's, the future's bright for Bangladesh cricket. It's only going to go one way. I really believe that.
Yeah, so actually today has been
we worked hard. We wanted to make that we were a competitive team of champions. I wasn't quite there in the squad, if I'm completely honest. We had obviously 1 or 2 injuries as well. So listen, it's always tough when you've got 6 to 8 weeks to work with a new bunch of guys, to create and the harmony of a dressing room, to keep everybody happy, to try and get people role clarity is really important. Keeping people fit and well is important. The Bangladesh traffic is crazy. Try and get through the Bangladesh traffic and not be late for net sessions, and have good quality net sessions so that you get everything out of your that you want. Bangladesh cricket's a lot of positives, and it's only going to go one way. We've got to keep it positive.
So we'll wrap it up now. And honestly speaking, today was one of the most informative sessions that I've had in my life.
Sorry.
But unfortunately, the internet has been so bad that there has been so much ups and downs that due to the technical difficulties that we've had in this conversation, I hope you've had a decent show, because again, can you hear me now? See you once again. We're
Somebody could type